It's Victoria, and you are now listening to the Pass Rush Podcast with your host, DJ Clennon.
Welcome to the Pass Rush Podcast. I'm your host, DJ Clennon, as you already know. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. If you're new, go ahead and sack the like button, sack the subscribe button, sack everything. That's what we do here. We sack everything. And you know who didn't sack everything yesterday? Colorado. They didn't sack everything. That was not a complete football game. You know, I'm going to start this off with a quote that Coach Prime said yesterday. He said those players need to figure out if they're in love with the game or in like with the game, because like is just a button. And that's so true for what we saw. You didn't see 4 quarters of football being loved by Colorado, because when you love something, you're willing to do whatever it takes to continue to have it and to chase it. If they're in love with winning, they would have never let this happen. That's the biggest comeback in Stanford football history, and probably, I'm not sure, they haven't said it, but probably the biggest comeback loss in Colorado history. I mean, okay, let's break it down, you know, how we do. Quarterback play. I don't think the quarterback play was terrible. I think Shedeur played lights out. Bam. My boy played lights out. Now, what we didn't see is him play lights out for all 4 quarters, because I think, this is just me, it's my opinion, I think that he was checked out of the game for a while mentally at halftime. When halftime came around, I think he thought Colton was going to go ahead and get some shine, that they were going to come out in the first part of the third quarter, put the game away early on, score 2 more touchdowns. He come out, he can chill, he can kind of rest because he don't have to take a bunch of hits anymore. The other guy comes in, he finishes the game. Shedeur goes on to do sideline interviews. They talk about how great the team is, woo. You know what I'm saying? They do all that because at Jackson State, when they used to be up big, that's what he did. I think a lot of players who was started to feel that way. They was in the locker room probably like, oh man, such and such, bro, get ready, bro. You about to get in the game. You know how it is as a player. Hey, bro, you already know you about to go out there and get you some, bro. I'm gonna be watching you, blah, 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 blah. Like, they already thinking the game over. But the Stanford side, they hungry. They was a completely different team in the second half. Now, I would say this at the beginning. A lot of people's idea that changed the game was when the 97-yard touchdown happened from 13 for Stanford. You know, I think a lot of people think that's the changing point. To me, I don't think so. I think the biggest part of the game that changed the game really was when Travis Hunter on 3rd down gets that personal foul penalty of getting into it with the receiver blocking the whole play. Although he just pushing you, he ain't really trying to block you for real, but he doing something that's going to annoy you. And it's not like Travis Hunter to get those penalties and to get out, you know, to get in his own way like that. And when that happened and 1st down happened and then Stanford goes on to score their 3rd touchdown, that opened the momentum meter wide open, you know. And right before that, when Colorado punted the ball on a 4th and 1, I think after Stanford already scored 2 touchdowns, you go ahead, you go for it, you punch them back in the mouth, you get the 1st down, you line up, you run it, you get that 1st down, and you kill their momentum. That's the 2 parts of the game that I think changed the game. As a fan here looking at the game, fan, former coach, former player, that changed the game, because those 2 moments led to the momentum meter widening up. And football is a game of momentum. Like, it's, you know, as much jokes as people might have about a momentum meter on Madden, that's what we saw. Like, that was literally like a Madden thing where you ain't really put your team away, and they start coming back, and you start to get the squiggly lines out there. You don't know what play you're supposed to be running. You mentally get lost. The crowd get real quiet. Like, that's what we saw. Like, that's what started to happen. So running the ball, I think Colorado's kryptonite for their offense is that they don't run the ball enough. I believe you run to set up the pass. I don't think you pass to set up the run. That's just me. It's kind of old school, but that's how I think. I also am okay with 4 to 5 yards to carry not getting big runs every time I run the ball. If I get 4 yards 3 times, that's a first down. Like, that's 12 yards, and you only need 10. I believe in that. That's the type of football I like. Hold the ball, slow grind. You pick and pop them, pop, pop, pop. The big plays open up. That's how I look at it. I don't think Colorado does enough of that. I don't think that they call enough of that, because Shedeur was the leading rusher yesterday with 37 yards. Come on now. Like, why is your quarterback the leader in rushing for the game? Y'all up. Y'all was up 29-0. Nobody had more than 12 carries rushing the ball. They didn't even have close to that. Like, come on. Like, you got to be running the ball. Give him a break. The man threw the ball 47 times. Although he had 5 touchdowns and looking like a Heisman candidate, Shedeur might be worried about that. I don't really know. I don't know him. But he might be worried about that. He might like the stats that he's getting. He got 33 sacks. He not liking that part of it. So give him a break. Give him a break. Run the ball. I think that's the kryptonite. Wide receiver play, I don't think it was as consistent as we still need it. I remember last week saying that they missed Travis Hunter a lot. Welcome back, Travis Hunter. They missed Travis Hunter a lot because him being out there opens up the opportunities for those one-on-ones for Weaver and the rest of the guys. Jimmy Horn, seen him in the first half. I didn't see him in the second half. Weaver, seen him in the first half, 2 touchdowns. Second half, he got a touchdown, but other than that, he was kind of quiet. Travis, seen him the whole game. But I think he got tired, and we'll get to that. He got really tired. I think he got tired because what happened to him, he had to be tired. I hope he was tired. I hope he wasn't feeling good and that happened to him, because that could hurt his confidence a little bit, that where his kryptonite might be big wide receivers. So I also think that with the offensive line play, that I would give them a really good grade, like a B+, A- in the first half, because Shedeur had a lot of time, and that's why he ran the ball. But that lot of time came from the receivers not getting open. They kind of blanket downfield, and he takes off and run, and he slides. He does a really good job of not taking unnecessary hits, and I'm okay with that. Then in the second half, I give the offensive line really almost an F. Like, I ain't gonna give him an F. I give him like a D-, but it's real close. It's like a 70. Like, I give him a 70 because he still had some time, but a lot of the time I seen the offensive line just collapse. I seen 77. I don't know what happened for the starting right tackle with 77, where he gets a false start and then an offensive offside penalty back to back, and then they bring 6 off the edge. They bring number 6 off the edge for Stanford, and he don't even touch the dude, and he drills Shedeur. I don't know what happened with that, but that killed the offensive line. And then 65, the guy who wears the thing on his neck, I think he just has a issue getting penalties all the time. I see him get penalties all the time, and I don't know what's going on with that, but that's killing the offensive line. Then you have the defense. Like I said before, Colorado, I see them play their best football when they're getting after the quarterback. And in the first half, we saw 4 or 5 sacks. We see everybody celebrating. We see the Tom is covering up your DBs from their bad play, because it opened up once that stopped happening. The quarterback was running for his life. Although they didn't sack him every single time, if you get him running to this side, get him running to this side, and he got to think, oh, man, y'all coming, it messes with their game, and that's why they didn't have any points. Now, linebacker play. Linebacker play was, I think Colorado in the transfer portal, they need an identity linebacker. I'm going to keep saying it. I think they need a guy that you just, because the conference that they going to, Oklahoma, Texas, those kind of guys, although they're leaving, those teams had linebackers that they going to bust you in the mouth. They're going to show you, don't come playing around with my defense. The only enforcer they have like that is Shiloh. Like, Jordan Dominic, them on the defensive edge, they do a really good job sometimes. But sometimes it's really just consistency at those positions. They don't have consistency. You see good things for them sometimes, and then it gets really hard sometimes. And I'm a former player, I understand that sometimes things happen and you're not gonna, get a bunch of sacks or get a bunch of disruptions and QB hits and things of that nature every single time for every single play call. But consistency will weigh all of that out. And linebacker play is the same. DBs, I give them an F.
Coincidence? I think not.
An F plus for this game against Stanford. I seen so many mistakes for DBs that I don't think Coach Prime probably even went to sleep last night. I think he probably still up off the nightmare he saw from his DBs. Travis Hunter, start with him because he's the head. He's the top dog, and then Shiloh. Travis Hunter, number 1 rated corner in college football, obliterated. I don't even know if I said that word right. Straight killed by 13. He didn't have a chance. 13 was just mushing him, double moving him. I seen Travis Hunter get did so bad. He was like 20 yards away. Like, he got beat on one play where the dude dropped the ball. Like, that was kind of like okay, we might need to have some confidence in some of our other DBs because he's kind of tired. We need to be able to give him a chance to get some win. He shouldn't have to play every single series of both sides. If he's starting on defense and it's a long drive, okay, he comes in at the end of the offensive drive. If it's a quick 3 and out, he just goes back out there on the defense. Whatever. Like, I think that's kind of how they got to continue to work him back in because he missed 3 weeks. He's messed up in here, all those things. But if he was looking that bad yesterday, you got to have confidence in Cormani and the rest of them to be able to hold it down while he out. Dion gave 23 so much credit, and we'll get to him as well, before he started looking really bad. Shiloh, I don't think he played terrible. He won't get an F personally, but I seen him, like, as guys was just standing up, still, like, getting held, like, oh man, we gonna tackle him. I seen Shiloh just stand there sometimes. He didn't even go for the kill shot. And I think that is can't have that. You gotta be the enforcer. You call yourself headache gang, you gotta be causing some headaches and continue to make big hits as many times as you can. You gotta be smart with it, which he does, but I seen him take a couple plays off that I didn't like. But other than that, I think he just was there, doing his role. 23. That might have been some of the worst cornerback football I've seen in a long time. And he came in, and Dion gave him a lot of credit last week or earlier this week and saying he wished all freshmen came in and played like him and worked like him and all those things. And he just believes in that guy. And this is one of those uplifting moments where he has lost his confidence. I don't know where it went, but as a player, he has lost his confidence. And man, I hate to see it. I hate to see it that you're a player out there getting a play for a Hall of Fame coach, and you just don't even know where your confidence is anymore. And that's the same for Cormani. Like, Travis Hunter should be able to go out and get a breather, and 23 and Cormani, just freshman tandem, kill it. They showed that they're exactly what Dion wanted. We have not seen that from neither one of them on a consistent basis or at all in some cases, and that was some really bad football. But that's not the only thing that really killed them. Like, the DBs was really bad, but I think they still could have won without that. The thing that I think that continued to kill Colorado is the worst thing about their football team is how undisciplined they look. They don't even look like they have a coach like Dion. They look like they got Bishop Scamore's coach, and they just running amok over there in Colorado. Like, that's literally how they look out there on the field, because the penalties, substitution penalties, I think it was 5 substitution penalties. How you don't know what package you supposed to be on? How don't you know? How don't you know what package you supposed to be on this late in the season? The defensive coordinator is probably sore. He's probably still awake too. Like, he probably sore, legs hurt, all the running and screaming he's doing. He probably can't even talk. Like, that is ridiculous. And then personal foul penalties, offsides, false starts. They still had like 4 or 5 penalties in the first half. 17 penalties in one game. is bizarre. You should never have that many penalties. Colorado beat themselves just off that. Regardless if the DBs didn't play so bad, those penalties were still there. Stanford was still made of the game. Too much thinking going on. I feel like they're just a team of thoughts. Like when things start going well, they just start thinking. Like just thinking, what should I do? And that's the worst thing as a football player. We all know that. Don't be out there thinking, because if you're thinking, you ain't doing. If you're out there thinking about how many pass rush moves you need to hit, oh man, I need to do a spin right now. I need to do a club. I need to do a swim. I need to do a speed rush. I need to do a bull rush. You ain't doing no rush at that point. You're just standing there locked up like this. Like that's where they're at. That's where they at. They start doing good, and then they start thinking. Or they start doing good, man, I need to celebrate, and then a penalty. Man, I'm doing good, but what am I supposed to do in this play again? I've been running this play all year, but are we going on 1 or are we going on 2? Shador, did he say 1 or did he say 2? And then like you jump off sides. Like it's just crazy stuff. Like when are we gonna see a complete game from Colorado? Last time we seen a complete football game was TCU. When they played TCU, that's the last time Colorado played 4 football quarters. Nebraska, yeah, they won, but it wasn't 4 football quarters. Same for Colorado State. Same for Oregon. Same for USC, and same now for Stanford. 4-3, still really good for a first year. I mean, really good. Really good stuff for Dion and what Coach Prom has really done to this team. I think if they can get bowl eligible, which is the only goal that I personally have for them, play in a bowl game, I think you can almost build a statue of the man out there, because it's the turnaround, the pride. I see the athletic director wearing a jacket with Dion's face on it and Coach Prom on the neck, and they love him. But the problem I have is that it's just really depressing and daunting to see them look like the team that they look like on a occasional basis. You can't love anything and do good sometimes and not do good sometimes. If you got a woman and she good to you sometimes, half the week, Monday through Wednesday, and she with some other dude Thursday through Sunday, how that's gonna work? Like, how can you say, oh man, this is a complete woman, this is the woman I want to? No. And you can take that with anything. You go to a restaurant, oh man, the food fresh, good this time. You go tomorrow, food raw.
Who's hiring these yahoos?
Where they do that at? You know what I mean? Like, consistency. We need to see consistency from Colorado, and that's just where I'm at with it. So, this is your boy, DJ Clinton, the host of the Pass Rush Podcast. Like I said, go ahead and sack the like button if you like this. Sack the subscribe button. Sack everything. Let me know your opinions down in the comments. I mean, I just want to read them. Are you done with the hype for Colorado? Do you not think they're a good football team? Do you think it's something else they need to change that I ain't mentioned? Do you not agree with me? Like, let me know how you feel, and we can talk about it in the comments. I love reading them when I do get them, and it's pretty cool to just know like how people interpret it in the game, because everybody's not going to see it the same. A bunch of people can see a car accident and everybody's going to see it differently. So I like that. I like that aspect of just what you see, how you interpret what you see. And that's what I saw. So again, it's been your host, DJ Clinton. Sack everything on the way out, and I'm out of here. See ya.
Wait, up and I shake the room.